What's going on, fellas? What we're looking at here is a donut on an Infiniti G37, which I think is freaking hilarious. I can't believe this is the donut for this car. I mean, what's next? Chewing gum in the first aid kit? Oh, you mean you don't have a first aid kit for your car? Well, come on, man. I didn't know I did either. Apparently this thing comes with its own first aid kit. This might not be it. This may be the book. What is all this jazz? Oh, wow. I know this car has Infiniti bubblegum somewhere in it. Then again, I may have lost the first aid kit. Oh, there it is. It's kind of cool. It velcros to the wall. Can you see that? Man, I think of everything. Fancy donuts, Infiniti bubblegum. I'm kidding about the gum. Because of this donut thing, I'm wondering, how could they not put a piece of bubblegum in the first aid kit after giving me a donut like that? There's got to be something funny in here. I don't know what this is. It's like gauze, maybe. Man, they're expecting some serious accidents here. I'll give you a little pause action. You can look at that. One morphine syringe. A couple of benzodrines for, ooh, nice little pair of scissors. Man, they ain't kidding around. What is this? Union, yes. I must have put that in there. Uh-oh, this is where the gum's at. Maybe not. Some matches. And they're setting it off. I might have put that in there. I think I did years ago. Sting relief. Sting relief. Pain and itching. Wow, so if you get a bug bite, man, they got you covered. Butterfly closures. Not bad. Freaking stirry strips. That's when you know you got a good first aid kit. When you can suture up huge lacerations. Alright, so I lied about the gum. Wait a minute. Maybe this is the gum. Oh, this is insect repellent. For crying out loud. Are they expecting me to get abandoned in a freaking tropical island? They've got a whole assortment of things. Bactros, anti-trauma dressing. Wow. That's for gunshots? I have no idea what that is. I don't know, it's care. But there you have it. Man, they're really setting it off here. Never in my life have I had a car with a first aid kit. I'm not like bragging, I just think that's hilarious. I mean, really? Ain't this thing expensive enough? I'll get my own Band-Aids, bro. You ain't got, I bet you this thing cost me $300 by the time it's all over, you know. So, there was no gum in there, but maybe there was and somebody chewed it. Oh well, so there you have it. I just thought I'd show you that because I thought that was hilarious. The donut and all, and the first aid kit for the Infiniti. But overall, I've heard a lot of bad stories about this car, but I like it. I wouldn't trade it for anything. And the funny thing about this car is, I took it into the dealership one day when it had the timing chain galley gasket incident, which is like a $4,500 repair job. Well, anyway, they called me up later that day and were like, sir, we would actually like to buy this car from you. Like, they literally wanted to buy a broken down car from me. This car was very hard to find, especially the gray. There was 2 places in all of the United States that had this car. So apparently a lot of people do like it, and for good reason. The power that this engine has is insane. It passes like a motorcycle. And there's nothing I hate more when you're on the highway and you're getting ready to make a pass, and the jerk next to you decides he's going to set the pace and close off your window of opportunity by hitting the accelerator. Well, I don't have that problem anymore in this car. I can blow anything out of the water I come across. I mean, just to give you an example, it'll cut the back tires loose at 75 miles an hour if the road's wet. I didn't know that. Found out the hard way. So that's one thing. It does have the traction control and the stability. So if your car starts to slide all over the road and fishtail, just one of the brakes on the front or the back side of the car will activate to restabilize the car. I don't know that I like that feature so much because I'm a counter steer kind of guy. I don't need the car to help me stay stable. And I don't know how that affects somebody who knows how to counter steer. If anyone has any information regarding that, that's a very interesting question that I've always wanted answered. How badly does it affect, like if your car decides it wants to lock up the front right tire when I'm in the middle of a counter steer maneuver, does that benefit me or inhibit my maneuver? I don't know. I've had this thing sideways on the highway in really snowy conditions, doing like 60 miles an hour, and just recovered it with no problem. I tried to pass one day, and when I got back over, I hit the large channel of snow that's usually in the middle of the road of a two-lane highway, and it destabilized me, but I was instantly able to get it back with just 2 counter steer actions. And I don't know if the traction control had anything to do with that. The light did shine when that happened, but it's hard to say. Found coming up on a very important area on my tire. I don't know what you would call that part, but glad I caught that, because the nature of that exposure is going to cause a little water pocket to form down in there. So I'm going to have to grind that out. Maybe I'll get my $17 carbide bit going on this thing. Not cool. Everything else seems reasonably okay. Painted just fine. Not sure what happened there. Just wanted to show you guys a quick little ninja trick that I've always done, but I've never seen anyone else do on a video. I've seen guys set their caliper on a jack so it isn't dangling from this hose when you're doing work on the front end. But I just take a piece of baling wire, run it right through that center vent hole, that air vent hole, and wire it up to this wishbone up top here. So you can see where this hangs without putting too much stress on this line. And now it's out of the way. Hey guys, I'm going to point out that that spare tire was flat. I would not have been able to go anywhere on it once I was done. It had like 20 PSIs in it, and it requires around 50 to roll normal. They suggest airing it up to 60 so that when you do get it out, it still has air in it. I always carry one of these in every car I own. If I don't have one, I find myself with a new car, the first thing I do is go out and buy one. It's the best 20 bucks you ever spent. So, I don't know why I post videos like this sometimes. I guess I'm a dork. To prove it, let me show you something that struck me as rather odd yesterday. I'm obviously getting old. I decided to buy something for myself the other day. Decided to splurge, you know, and just get something just for me, you know, for once. And this is what I bought. Ooh, man, that's heavy. I like the feeling of that. Solid carbide. I bought myself a $17 carbide pointed cutter. And I felt excited about this. Like, that's how big of a freaking nerd I am. Or gearhead. Whatever you want to call me. Like, am I the only one that's ever felt that they have splurged to buy one of these things. I mean, this thing is beautiful.